Welcome to This Week in Geek. It's October 7th, 2016. We're back. We're back with a vengeance. I'm Rob Southgate. With me is...
Lil Kanitsa.
And Chris Mao.
Hi, boys. It's been a while.
Why did you say it like that?
Why wouldn't I say it like that?
I talk to you like every day. What are you talking about? It's been a while.
Know. Well, I'm trying to have that illusion. You know, the audience is like, wow, they never get to talk. And yeah, instead it's like, wow, they really are losers. All they do is text bad jokes to each other.
Mine are funny. I don't know what you're talking about.
Martha today opened my phone and, you know, like there's the thread from you guys. And she's like, yep, just skipping right over this. I don't want to see what those boys wrote. Yep.
Hey.
I think it's that picture of a Lil looking like Harley Quinn was the one that tipped it in.
I'm going to start sending gifts now if that's the case, so she can start seeing those things.
Gross.
That was awesome, by the way.
That Harley Quinn picture? Who made that?
Yeah.
Steve.
Did he? Boy, he's talented.
People thought it was real.
You know why? Because it looks like you.
I'm fat?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, okay.
It was close enough that it could have been believable.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that far off the mark, a little. Sorry to tell you. Plus, the idea of you dressing up like Harley Quinn, definitely in the realm of possibility.
I don't think so. As much as I joke about things, I don't go to that extreme of body shaming myself, putting myself in a very tight and scantily clad so my spare tires, plural, can hang out. Like I don't do that.
So instead we
not to disparage Walmart, but that's not your Walmart wear.
No.
Because I intentionally try to dress like that when I go there just to fit in. I want to make one of those picture collections, you know?
I love the one where the woman has the I don't know what she's wearing, but she has it pulled, like her pants pulled all the way up to her boobs, like she's got sweatpants. And then she pulls them up like they're a shirt. That one's amazing.
Yeah, there's some greatness out there. So
yeah. All right. We haven't done this in so long, and there is just so much stuff. I don't even know. We're probably going to just do the most current stuff now. What do you guys want to start with?
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. Nothing's really happened. Okay, so we have a Wonder Woman trailer.
Wonder Woman trailer is a good place to start. What'd you think?
You just said it?
Well, no. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I think it's like one of the only steps in the right direction for DC films.
Okay, but we don't know that for sure because they have taught us in 3 movies that they can cut a really good trailer.
True.
So they cut a really good trailer, you know, and like I've said this before, they're going back to a Wonder Woman, you know, I want to say origin story because it's not really an origin story, but it's her origin in our world, in the real world,
right?
I guess you could say, because during World War I, and
right.
You know,
they're doing Captain America.
If you're gonna rip off a Marvel movie, ripping off Captain America versus Avengers is probably a good way to go.
I agree.
Yeah, and she's a really strong character, so I think it'll be good because, you know, her with Chris Pine, I think Chris Pine's a great actor, and he's a really strong leading man. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, he's a leading man who's got some comedic chops that can kind of play off of a very serious Wonder Woman. Because Wonder Woman in the movie so far, and even in the comics, you know, in the new take, like if you look at the New 52 and stuff like that, she's more serious.
Yeah, not a lot of humor there.
Than like Wonder Woman from the 70s TV show and stuff like that, where, you know, most people wouldn't know her from.
Well, that was campy, and this is, I mean, she's, you know, I don't think they go into how old she is, and she's been around a long time and does carry the weight of the world on her. So I think that. And
I'm not saying it bad. I'm saying that Chris Pine is a good person for her to work off of, and
yes,
for him
absolutely.
To, you know, because in my mind, I look at how she is and how studious she is, and how it'll be, you know, new to her. I can see her coming off as like Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, you know,
right.
Where, you know, very literal to everything you say to them.
Yes.
And I can see her playing into some of that. I mean, not to the extreme that he does, but enough that it will, you know, it will, you know, no, it'll be a good notice. I'm sorry, I'm tongue tied here. That they can play off of between her and Chris Pine, because he can be smarmy, he can be charming, he can do all that stuff.
Well, I think that, you know, you are right. They do know how to cut a trailer, and we've been burned by that. I've also heard, I mean, there's a lot of rumors about this, that behind the scenes, that first trailer we saw was another one of these, good trailer, terrible movie, lots of problems. I have heard that they've gone back, they've done a lot of fixing, and I haven't heard whether it's good or bad yet, but I've heard that they're really trying to fix it. So maybe it's good. I mean, I don't know. That trailer looks pretty awesome to me. It doesn't look like it fits with the other DC movies, though. And man, did you guys read about Batman? It's getting ripped the Batman, Ben Affleck one. There are a lot of rumors coming out from script supervisors and stuff saying it's a pile. Like they just rushed it in there. The studio had its hands all over it, and they just don't care.
I don't believe that, because we are so far away from day one of filming. I believe maybe the first draft of the script is like that.
It's garbage, right?
But it's gonna go through that. Most movies, you go through a first draft of the script.
Dude, that's what they did with Batman Superman. Because we know somebody that was on set and they were filming and they still didn't have a completed script, and the studio was still coming in saying, put this in, throw this in, do this, and that's why we got the mess that we ended up getting in a lot of ways. And that's what they're saying is happening on the Batman. Now, one thing that could be a saving grace is the deal between AT&T and Warner Brothers. They may, if they get a new, flagship, they may come in and say, okay, we need to take a step back and stop trying to rush this to make money, and we need to make something quality so we can have something that makes money. So maybe, I don't know.
Or AT&T can just pull the plug because they don't want to lose money.
That's true too, but do you think, once again, these people are all business people. They look at like Marvel, and trust me, they're talking about Marvel every meeting, right? And they realize there is a lot of money to be made. They look at Star Wars. There's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, but you can't throw bad money over good. That's the problem.
Yeah, but we could get a rebooot. We could get a reboot in 2 seconds.
That to me is more likely than anything else.
I agree with that.
A reboot, bring in a whole new group of people.
Can you imagine? They get to the third movie and they already reboot the whole thing.
Well, exactly, and that's also a problem. Because then you're going to turn people off. Like, okay, I don't need to see another Superman. Just like people have complained about Spider-Man and Tom Holland. Like, there's still complaints that Spider-Man Homecoming is happening, which I think is wrong.
Just nobody in this room.
Yeah,
definitely not me. But because it's so close to the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Right.
But we're not seeing an origin story. The Marvel, they did it this way on purpose. Could DC pull that same thing off? I don't know. It depends on who they get in. Could they back up the truck and bring Nolan back? Maybe AT&T can, and then they can Nolan verse.
Could you imagine if they did that? They're not. That's not going to happen. But that would be an interesting.
You say it's not going to happen, but hey, Chris Nolan, we're going to fund any project you want going forward, but you need to help take care of these movies.
You need to oversee it and get your brother involved.
For us, yeah.
That could be. Although, wasn't he somewhat involved in this?
He was involved. He was only involved partially in Man of Steel, and that was just Goyer going back to him with some script work.
Okay,
that was it. He got producer credit for Man of Steel because Goyer worked with him on it. I think his brother might have also done some
Yeah, I know
work
his brother did.
Man of Steel, but Man of Steel, again, at the end of the day, it's a Snyder film. Zack took what he wanted and threw away the rest, and this is what we're getting.
Yeah.
And we're 3 movies in now, and it's a jumbled mess.
Oh my gosh! And the news about Flash came out this week too.
Yeah, second director left. The Flash can't get along with the studio. The actors are now upset about this. You can't do this. As much as I know that Marvel hasn't been the best with some of the directors. They lost Patty Jenkins, who was supposed to direct Thor: The Dark World. The Edgar Wright situation.
That whole debacle.
But you know what? At the end of the day, they have built
look, that happened with Ant-Man, and look what we got. Ant-Man was fantastic.
Yeah, I loved Ant-Man. And then they pick directors who you don't expect, and they're producing a fantastic film. And I'm going to say it right now: Doctor Strange, fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you saw it, Chris?
Yeah, we saw it opening night.
We're going. Edward and I are going. We're having an Edward's Rolling Sausage Party on Thursday, I believe.
Nice.
Oh man, he's like 16, right?
Yeah. Maybe we won't call it that.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Maybe we'll call it the Aquarium. I don't know. Does that work?
But in all seriousness, I mean, even my guys on the League Geeks, when we reviewed Doctor Strange, I mean, they agreed. Doctor Strange, a C-level character for the Marvel comic book universe. C-level, and I think that's being generous. I mean, Doctor Strange has been around, he's done things, but
yeah, C-level is probably at best.
And they made a C-level movie, a character based on a C-level character, better than a movie with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
But it's like what they did with Guardians. I mean, these are characters that most people never knew anything about. And they made a great movie that instantly made them like A-level characters to the moviegoer.
Agreed.
Well,
Cumberbatch killed it, man. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, he's kind of good. You know, sometimes he's a hack, you know.
He was great on SNL with the Chicago Cubs.
I didn't think he was. I hate his American accent.
Chris, we're losing me. I can't.
Chris, you're disappearing.
That's good. That's a good thing. I haven't touched anything. Am I there?
There you are.
Yeah, you're back.
I was just saying, I don't think he was fantastic. His American accent was pretty awful, but he was great as Doctor Strange. Besides that,
it didn't bother me at all. I did not. It didn't. You know, maybe because you watch Sherlock, and maybe that's an issue. For me, I don't watch that,
and it never affected you, huh?
No, I didn't even think twice. I thought he was awesome.
Oh yeah, no, he was great. His acting is unbelievable. His facial expressions, all that stuff. But sometimes his accent kind of, I don't know. I just don't like it when they. It just, to me, it wasn't believable from what I know of him, and maybe that's the problem.
And I think that's the problem. Yeah, because to me it was believable. When I heard him on SNL speaking normally, I was a little bit like, "Whoa!" I just watched you today.
You know, this is kind of like when Warcraft came out. It's kind of the polar opposite, where Alil, you couldn't stand it, and Chris, you liked it because you were familiar with it. This is the opposite. You're familiar with him, so you're having a little bit of a hard time compared to Alil, who doesn't have that. So it's kind of interesting how that can work for you or against you. You know,
sure. Yeah. I thought the movie was fantastic. I loved everything about it. Mads Mikkelsen is crazy.
Yeah, here's another hack.
Yeah, another hack. I mean, it's like Hack Central there.
Tilda Swinton.
And Tilda Swinton, too.
Ejiofor. I mean, they were all terrific.
Yeah,
Benedict Wong.
Oh, he was great. Named Wong in the movie.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
He was great. It was awesome. So,
yeah, I
Chiwetel Ejiofor was awesome. I mean, he's so good.
It was a great new take on Mordo. I mean, it's not new, but
it's new to the moviegoer. The only thing that's ever come out with Doctor Strange really is that movie, the TV movie, which was terrible.
No, I like that TV.
No, you don't.
Oh, you mean the 77? No,
I
thought you meant the Lionsgate made a cartoon movie.
Oh, the cartoon's good.
Yeah, it was pretty
that one was really good, but the 70s
77 TV movie.
Although I would remake that like a literal shot for shot remake with Porn Stash from Orange Is the New Black.
Well, why? You have it already though. It's already there. That is the Porn Stash. It's awful.
That's your update. You know, you just get him to do it.
More spandex, it would be great.
Oh, yes.
It was good. I mean, it was funny because Kathleen really hadn't talked about it, and she's like, it was like Inception. It was like this. It was like that. It was, it is all of that stuff. The Matrix.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I really liked it, and without all of the, exploding tanks and all that stuff, I thought the action was great. So,
yeah, I can't wait to see this one. Now, moving on to other stuff out of that world. There's been a lot of talk because, the new Harry Potter movie is about to come out. Well, should we even call it that? It's Potterverse movie. It's Fantastic Beasts. One thing that they said, originally they were talking about it being a one-shot, and then immediately Rowling kept saying, nope, I've got a trilogy. And now it looks like they're so happy with the product. And, of course, they're seeing dollar signs. Now they're saying it's a 5-movie story. And they're just really happy. Like, they've mapped the whole thing out. They're not stretching anything. They're like, this was the story we wanted to tell. Rowling is behind the whole thing. I guess Johnny Depp got cast for the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're trying, I guess Dumbledore plays a critical role in the second one, and they're trying to find like a young Dumbledore. I mean, there's just a lot of like Harry Potter stuff going on all of a sudden. Like even a year ago, we were saying, well, maybe there'll be some Harry Potter stuff. Now it's like movies and this book and a play, and like it's just exploding.
I think it's too important of a series for them to just abandon it. And I think people were kind of mad when, oh, here we're at Deathly Hallows. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, and she was saying that's it, but then immediately she started putting out short stories and playing around in there. And now, I mean, aside from the dollar signs, because
did she say? She said that's it for Harry Potter. There's a whole. But now universe.
She's saying that that might not be true. That was another thing that came out this week, or maybe it was last week. That supposedly she's now saying there's another Harry Potter series or whatever, and saying this is something that I'm toying with. How great would that be? I mean, the Cursed Child has them older. I would love to see something where they go back and the cast, the three mains have all said, I don't care if we bring them back and they're in their 60s, we'll always come back to this series. That'd be cool, man. Of course, they say that it's like, for the right amount of money. Because if they say, wow, you really want to do it? Here's $40. I might do it, but Hermione's going to look awfully weird if I'm playing Hermione.
Hermione.
Yeah. Hey. Hermione.
That's super hot right there.
That would be, and then a Lil could be Harley Quinn. It'd be a great combo. It would be a wonderful thing. So, I mean,
I guarantee some laws will be passed then. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, that's it. That's all there is. So, no, I was just saying. I mean, I think if there's a calling for it, for them to be older, because it's obviously moved on from the kids' book that it was.
Right. Well, they said that
it's grown up now and it could be good.
The idea is that it would continue with these actors. They're going to try and keep them at the right ages and everything. I mean, it's a really interesting idea. Imagine if we end up like with Star Wars, we get a Harry Potter movie, we get a trilogy every few years with the same actors growing older, but they're just as good a quality. I mean, that would be a crazy thing to have happen. And really, I mean, they've all had careers,
Oh, yeah.
Radcliffe is probably, both of them, him and Emma Watson, are both probably having the best careers, although Rupert Grint is not having a terrible one.
No, but he's not. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe is. Yeah, he's
making more of an inroad in Hollywood. Rupert seems to be doing more stuff in the UK. And Emma Watson, I mean, she's got Beauty and the Beast coming out. She's like always kind of skating on that. She could end up being a huge star really fast.
Did we lose a Lil? I think we lost a Lil.
We're so lucky. Lil, you there?
I'm here.
All right.
You're back?
Yeah.
I think it's a great, in the evolution of the books and the evolution of the movie was just, the first couple were just, hey, we're going to do this wizard world and, we're going to do this and it's all cool and it's for kids. And then it got pretty serious right away where it changed. The magic was just kind of the vehicle and not the wonderment. Because the first one, it's all about the magic. Who cares about Harry Potter?
One, you're seeing them like put the food out for the first time, and there's all this crazy stuff as it goes on. You're right; it becomes darker. It becomes more of a particular type of story that is not about the magic. The magic is just where they're at, and that's the right move.
Sure.
So, who do you think would be good for a younger Dumbledore?
I don't know.
Anyone?
Ewan McGregor.
Well, the problem is they're going to get Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp is not young, and he's supposed to play Grimwald. So you need to get somebody in their 40s or 50s. So who would that be?
Ewan McGregor.
I don't think Ewan McGregor. Yeah. I don't think that's who they'll make Dumbledore. I mean, you might be right. Who did they have last? They had that Michael Gambon, but he's getting too old for it at this point.
He's 70.
Is he?
Yeah, but who's somebody that kind of looks like him that would be? I mean, I can't think of an English actor that would be like that. Because you kind of need that. I mean, I like the Gambon take on Dumbledore. It was kind of, I don't know. He had that kind of artistic kind of look where Richard Harris was very stoic and very kind of like rigid, where Gambon was very kind of like the guy that would like be running around and stuff. And so who do you get that's English? It's like that, like Ricky Gervais, somebody like that. I don't know.
Well, you know what I liked about how I always felt the change was, it was how authority figures change as you grow up.
Sure.
And in the first two movies, having Richard Harris, having Dumbledore like that stoic and like all powerful looking, and then then he kind of changes.
Yeah, he kind of
you don't need,
and it seemed very organic too, didn't it?
Yeah, you don't need somebody just like Gambone because it could be how he has gone through, the ages or the
Right, but I
the
think you
view
want to
we
get
get
somebody
for the character.
similar in look. Similar,
Maybe he had a giant beard and stuff. It's not like you need. I mean, he was old. I mean, he was in his 60s filming this. So
But he was old. But when they did that thing with Tom Riddle, where he went back in time, they made him look pretty decent and young.
right.
So I mean, I think you would have to have somebody that kind of looked like that. I thought, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong. With that.
One who might be interesting, because think about it, they're going to. If you think about how they look now, it doesn't really work. But like Michael Gambone, when they put the hair on him and the costume and everything, it works, right? What about like Stephen Merchant?
Yeah,
He's got. Look at his face and his facial features. Put him in that Dumbledore thing. I can see him being a younger Dumbledore. I think that actually, and he'd have like Dumbledore has a real likability to him, even when he's more stoic. That you can tell he's powerful, but he's got a likability to him. I think Stephen Merchant might be my pick.
That's not bad.
I wonder if I can get a commission for that.
Make it happen.
Oh, Warner Brothers.
Hello.
Yeah,
Stephen Merchant.
Somewhere Stephen Merchant's agent just jumped on the phone. Hey, somebody just said this. It's a good idea. Let's cut him out.
Yeah, because I'm sure he's listening right now.
I'm sure he is, even though this is not live. Hey, Stephen Merchant, if you're listening, call in.
They have the internet.
Hello,
the internet spy that they pick up their name anywhere. It's like the
right.
national.
Snowden hears it, calls Merchant. Merchant calls in. That's how it works.
Hey, yeah, exactly.
And it all went through Hillary's her server. So
that's right.
Okay. Boy, we got political for a second there. That's over. Let's see. We had sneak peek of Ghost in the Shell, that little trailer. It looks cool. Do you guys watch it?
Yeah.
The only thing that I think is a step in the wrong direction. I mean, I think this could be kind of cool. It doesn't seem dissimilar to Scarlett Johansson doing what was that one she did like a year ago, 2 years ago, where she had the superpowers, where not obviously the one where she had the what was it? Where
Black Widow?
No.
I know. I'm teasing you.
You know what I'm talking about? The
sci-fi
sci-fi one, right? It seems like her foray into that sort of. Although I don't know, this might be cool. The material might be good. It might be a really cool movie, but I think that if I was her people, I would be pushing harder for a Black Widow movie. I think she would crush that, and I think it's more accessible. But this looks cool, or it could be like Tron and be like kind of visually satisfying, but not that great.
Yeah, Lucy was that movie we were talking about.
Lucy, I've started that like 5 times, and every time I totally dig it, and then for whatever reason I get distracted and I don't watch it. Did you guys see that one?
I did not.
A little?
No, I did not.
See,
sorry,
that's a problem.
I'm dying over here.
Oh, you're dying. Excellent.
Are you? Awesome. Every day you're getting closer, buddy. Don't worry about it. You'll make it.
I just want to see my kids get married. Then it's okay.
Very young kids.
So do you have to get permission for tomorrow?
They want that too, so that you can pay for it.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Oh, it's fine with me.
Molly's like, just long enough, please. Let's see what else. What else happened? I mean, there's just lots of stuff, but I don't know how many big.
So they're
stories.
going to put Elektra in Defenders.
Okay,
yeah, I mean, we had to kind of see that coming, right?
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was going to happen because the only thing that I can think of that they've set up at this point is the hand that could bring everybody together.
Right.
Taking over New York.
I think that...
And that would be Elektra coming back as... I forgot what they called her at the end of season 2, but she was that weapon.
The weapon or the one or the
Night.
Whatever.
The dark.
Yeah.
Whatever. I can't remember what's...
Well, I also think that what we've seen, like all the characters, especially the hero-ish characters... I think those are all going to show up. There's going to be the 4 main defenders, but I think even like Patsy, isn't that her name? She's going to show up as Wildcat. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's
not showing up as Wildcat in the Defenders.
I would not be surprised if we didn't see by the end of that series her suit up.
No way.
When is she suiting up?
She's nowhere near suiting up.
You don't think?
Mark my words. Huh?
All right.
No, mark my words. No way they're putting her in this show right now.
I am not marking my words, so I will. You can mark your words. I am not marking mine. I'm just wondering if Defenders is their Avengers, this is their opportunity to take some of those characters and throw them into suits.
No.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
They got to throw somebody a bone in there somehow.
And Elektra, I think we'll see Elektra more in the red, the classic costume at some point in this. I think Punisher, we're going to see his skull much more dominant. I really do. I think this is their Avengers. This is where they're going to roll these out. And then when they go back to the individual series, they're going to dial them back a little bit. But I would not be surprised if Wildcat did not make an appearance by the end. As
Wildcat.
As Wildcat.
No.
Okay.
Not going to happen.
All right.
Will said it. It's not going to happen.
All right.
They did not set up or develop that at all. And it's different than the Avengers because the Avengers introduced every character at some point.
Yeah,
even Hawkeye's little cameo as Hawkeye, they
did set it up because of the way she was training. They dropped a few hints because even when we were watching it, Martha said, "Does she become somebody?" And I'm like, "Yes, Patsy Walker becomes Wildcat." And there were some subtle hints. I would not be surprised if there's not some reason that she puts on a form of the costume and even if it's a joke and Jessica says, "Hey, Wildcat," like joking around with her, I would not be surprised.
I don't see it.
All right.
We would get Misty Knight with a metal arm before we get that.
Hell yeah! You think that's going to happen? That's not going to happen in this.
That's not going to happen here either. No,
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's going to be a story focused on these 4 characters.
Yeah, but you got 8 episodes. It's not like it's a 2-hour movie.
Well, right, but it's more about how to bring. There's going to be more involved into it, but that doesn't mean because it's 8 episodes you bring in 20 different other superheroes.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not 20, it's 3, and you're going to see them suit up by the end. Who are the 4? Elektra, Carmen Electra, Patsy Walker. Who else?
What do you mean?
Who are the
I'm
other?
saying it's going to be the 4 main defenders.
Oh, I'm saying, but you're going to add a couple others. You're going to add these couple others. They're not going to be defenders. They're going to be like support to the defenders, and it's going to help prime the pump for what's happening in the future. When we get to Jessica Jones 2 then, and Patsy Walker is walking around and you're going, she's, "Hey, remember when you suited up? Remember when you helped out?" She's like, yeah, no. And then by the end of that series, we get the full Wildcat suit.
I don't go with it.
Either that or we never see Wildcat. And I don't think they put her in there for us to never see Wildcat. I just don't. All right.
Okay.
Moving on.
I don't believe it.
Okay. Moving on. So the screenwriter for Sandman's in trouble again. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt dropped it. This screenwriter, Eric Heiserer, has left it. And he's right. Part of his thing for leaving it is he said, this is a step in the wrong direction. This needs to be one of these prestige TV shows. He's right. It needs to be like a Westworld, like an HBO can go off the rails. It can have multiple seasons. Because I don't know. Did you guys ever read Sandman?
No.
Is it good?
It's amazing. You guys are missing out on a masterpiece of comic literature. And here's the thing. Each book really is kind of a standalone. Like you look at it, you're like, yeah, I wouldn't want a whole season of some of the books, but 3-4 episodes of a 12-episode season? Sure. Or at least have them intermingling? Sure. And there's some really, like, there is one book that is all like this crazy thing with all these like killers throughout the dreamscape, and they're frightening. There's one where it deals with Shakespeare. There's one where it's dealing with his sister Death. I mean, it's really great. Making it a movie, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Not unless you had like you were coming out with a movie every 2 months for like 2 years, because it's that big a story and there's that much going on, and telling a self-contained story, the next movie is going to be so drastically different that it's not going to work. So I think the screenwriter's right, and you know what, if that is the reason he departed, I got to hand it to the guy. I mean, he stuck to his guns and said this project's not right. I don't know. Do you guys ever think we're going to see Sandman?
No,
I don't either.
They've been trying this for a decade plus now.
Although we said that about Dark Tower, and we're getting something that looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So maybe we're wrong.
Maybe the BBC's got to take it and do something with it. I don't know.
They might. They just came out with Dirk Gently, and that looks really good.
That looks really good. I mean, they do all sorts of stuff. So, and with their change in their kind of structure, if they ever change how they get funded, they're going to be looking for vehicles to be able to sell. Because I don't want to say they can't sell Doctor Who forever, but that I don't think it's going to stay as popular as it is for that long.
Right.
Maybe it will. I might be wrong, but who knows?
Doctor Who is pretty strong, but when they keep doing all these changes, I think when they switched over to Capaldi, I think they lost some steam. Even though I liked it, I think they affect the audience.
The problem is they take so long. I mean, when they had Moffat alternating between Sherlock and Doctor Who, when you have to wait 15 months for a series, nobody wants to wait that long. They'll wait a year. They'll wait they'll say, oh, it's going to be in April and run April to July. That's right. Okay. But when it goes April to July and then, oh, we're not going to do it till the following November, people get pissed.
Yeah.
And they just don't have that long to wait for that stuff. So
right. Especially now in the age of binge watching where it's like, I know I'm getting a season 2 of Stranger Things. I know it's happening a year from now.
Right.
Or with the Marvel stuff, every 6 months I'm going to get something. When Doctor Who is like not consistent and, hey, unlike our show.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
Completely inconsistent.
It's hard. I mean, you get into that rhythm. I mean, Game of Thrones is going to be on later this year. People are a little upset about that.
They are. Well, and they're also doing that
why,
thing where
it's coming
where they're
the end,
splitting the season, and people are like, I have been reading a lot of people that are like, I know I'm going to watch it, but the bloom is off the rose for me. Sure.
Well, they're getting to the end, so I think they're trying to figure it out, and there's a lot to do in these episodes. So I think that runs hard, but it's difficult. And they've done that twice. I mean, they did it with Tenet. Tenet wasn't on for over a year. And then they did those specials where they did like a longer Christmas special, and then had like 3 2-hour series before they came back because they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, so, but how long before the public's interest goes somewhere else when you do that?
Exactly. And I think Capaldi's fine. Actually, he's turned out to be really good, but with it being Moffat's swan song and then Chibnall taking over, we'll see. And hopefully it'll be a pretty seamless transition and they can get right to it.
Look how Lil goes all silent during this part.
He's asleep. He died.
I don't watch Doctor Who.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I mean, it's like, so are you watching The Walking Dead?
Oh,
yes.
Gosh.
Oh my God.
Okay. I got to ask you guys, to me, this has been fantastic. But online, it's like all these people like, oh, I don't like that it was so violent, or that first episode didn't have any story. Are you kidding me? Did you guys like the first 2 episodes?
Yeah, I mean they were good. I mean, I don't think it was. I guess people weren't prepared for the bat to the head, like how looked.
They haven't read the comics then.
Well, true, but most people haven't.
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, the comics are popular. But they're nowhere near as popular as the show.
Right, of course. But I mean, as far as the show goes, I wouldn't second guess anything. That's what it does in the comics. Every time you steer near the comics, it goes well for you.
They don't steer near. I mean, they deviate from the comics a lot. I mean,
but they do a lot of imagery from the comics.
But they had to keep this one in. I get it, and it was fine. But I'm just saying, seeing versus a drawing of Glenn's eye popping out of his head and all that kind of stuff.
The eyeball!
That was pretty drastic.
But I think it had to do that, man. I really think it had to do that because, think about it, that upped the stakes in a big, bad way. If it was done off camera or we just saw him get clobbered and there's some blood, that's not nearly what we saw here.
But they mitigated it with all the memes and stuff that they had. I mean, there was like immediately after that, they had like clips of him goofing around with the makeup on.
Right.
So I think they took a big, they made a point of making it makeup, where you saw it in the show, but then immediately it's Glenn's like joking and the memes like this guy was smoking pot. This is what happens. I mean, I thought they were really funny. And they were able to take the seriousness out of it a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I thought it was incredible. I can't wait. We've seen 2 episodes so far. I can't wait for 3 because we're going to get the Daryl episode on the next one, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be amazing. I have not seen it yet either. So
can't wait. I might watch that when we're done with this.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It looks so good.
And what about Westworld, Lil? Yes, no?
I haven't kept up.
I watched the first episode and I thought it was jaw dropping. I loved it. And there was that rumor that came out this week that it was like its ratings were in trouble. That's a bunch of crap. That's not true at all. And HBO's not about to pull the plug. They said that they had not renewed it for season 2 yet officially. But if you read all the stuff from when the show was coming on, they said it had a 5-year arc. HBO wanted it to be a 5-year run. And unless it got poor reviews, they were committed to making this thing work. They know that they can hang around on this thing for a while, and it's going to be like a Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, day 1, did not do numbers that were astronomical. By the second season, yes, it did. And I think Westworld is the same way. Now, you like it, right, Chris?
Oh, it's fabulous.
How far did you get into it, Alil?
Episode 1.
Same as me.
It's not because I don't want to see it. I have them on my DVR. I'm planning on watching them. Baseball ruined my last week.
It affected this show, too.
It did.
That's why we weren't around. It's one of the reasons.
Go Cubs, go.
Yeah. So
we
are not recording tonight, Rob.
Not sleeping,
literally.
Oh, no. By the way, no.
Yeah.
Game 6, no. Sorry. Yeah. I need to sleep at some point in time.
That was pretty awesome, though, how, like, 9th inning, things are, still up in the air, and I'm writing, hey, are we about to record? Are you guys ready? Oh, I'm sure that pissed you off.
I just chose to ignore you. I think that was really it. I have people sending, consoling messages, checking on my well-being, and I've got you like, we're recording.
Have you killed yourself? No.
Let me reiterate one of the tenets of this show: time plus tragedy means you're too late. So, Alil, if you're
strike
sick,
while the iron's hot.
we are going to feed like vultures on you.
Yeah.
That's how we roll here.
Oh, I was beside myself when that happened. I was nuts.
Oh,
I was just. I mean, you know what? And I thought they were going to win. I thought they were going to hang on, and when they did hang on, it seemed. I looked at the top of the 10th. They got the meat of the order. They're not pitching very well. I'm like, we got a shot at winning this, and we did. So
yeah. It was.
It was just
great.
amazing.
I'm still beside myself. I still don't know. I just don't know what to do with myself. I'm trying to get back to a normal life, but I can't. All I think about is the Cubs.
Wow.
I hate Pearl Jam, but all I've been doing is listening to that damn Eddie Vedder song.
Eddie Vedder song?
And like
you hate Pearl Jam and you're a child in the 90s?
I know.
Okay?
You know what? Unless Urkel sang it, he's not into it.
It wasn't on.
I never liked Pearl Jam.
It wasn't on Saved by the Bell. That's
or
why.
DJ Jazzy Jeff did it.
That's right.
Not mess with Fresh Prince.
Yep. See,
this is a story. Have you seen him when he goes on Graham Norton? Do you see those clips on YouTube?
No, I haven't.
So every time that Will Smith goes on Graham Norton, they want him to sing the theme song from Fresh Prince, and they do all sorts of crazy stuff. So the last time he brought DJ Jazzy Jeff. It was his son and him.
Oh, no.
And then they got Alfonso Ribeiro to come and sing and do it.
Nice.
With the whole crowd. It was fabulous.
But Jaden Smith was there?
Jaden Smith, no, yeah, and they started, Will's like, we don't rap together very much. I'm like, whatever, you're full of it. But, they started doing it. It's pretty awesome. You got to look it up. I really like that show.
I still watch it. It's on Nick at Night.
Yeah, he's good.
He was fabulous. So.
I'm scanning through Joe Blow here because there's a lot of stuff. But here's one. Tim Miller left Deadpool 2.
Well, they kicked him out.
Junkie XL.
Yeah, but have they announced anyone to replace?
No.
What do you guys think about this? Because the music, the composer, what was his name?
Yeah, Junkie XL.
Yeah,
Junkie
he left
XL.
also. So, I mean, do you think this is going to change the tone too much? Do you think we're going to get a X-Men 3 type cut out of this thing? Or do you think Ryan Reynolds is going to stay in there enough to make sure we get another Deadpool?
I think Deadpool. See, if a director like James Gunn left Guardians of the Galaxy, you can see you will be able to feel
that
the
it's not
tonal
Gunn.
shift.
Yes.
That it's not Gunn. Tim Miller doesn't have that credibility or that moxie yet.
Oh, dude, that was all Ryan Reynolds.
You got a lot of it was Ryan Reynolds.
And whatchamajigger. What's the other guy's name? Who's a bar owner? I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
TJ Miller.
TJ Miller. I mean, that was all them.
Right.
So I'm not too worried. I mean, it depends on on what they plan on doing. That was the argument. Like for the screenplay for Deadpool 2, they fought over who was playing Cable, and they fought over what they wanted to do. Tim Miller wanted to take it into a different direction and do more like an artsy kind of crazy style with it. And Ryan Reynolds is like, no, we're keeping the tone the way it is. We need to keep these jokes.
I didn't realize that's what it was. Well, good.
Oh, no, it was Ryan Reynolds doing it. Yeah, it was Ryan Reynolds saying no.
Keep it right, then. Keep it that way.
Because he produced it, right? Didn't he produce it and act in it?
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds paid out of his own pocket
to do the movie?
Writers to stay on set so they could rewrite lines during the movie. He paid for that out of his own pocket. And,
was that Blade 3 money? I'm not saying anything
bad about Tim Miller because Tim Miller...
Blade 3 money?
Blade 3 money. No, that was his Van Wilder money. But Tim Miller, to give him credit, he did a lot of the CG work in-house because he has his own little CG studio, and he did that for free as well. So they both did a lot of work together on this. Yeah, I do think there will be a little bit of a change.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be drastic enough that it's going to impact the Deadpool that we all loved. But again,
I hope that
it's different. If you had right now the Russo brothers leaving Marvel, you would feel that because the Russo brothers are doing something special.
Right.
Well, it'd be like J.J. Abrams leaving, whatever. I mean,
yeah,
there's impact, yes.
So,
all right. Well, good. I didn't quite realize that. Now I have a little bit more hope because when I read that he was out, and then the music guy was out, I was like, hey, what's going on here? Are they going for a money grab? But it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like Ryan Reynolds is trying to keep control. He had the vision originally, and I think he stuck with it. So, all right, cool. Starship Troopers is getting rebooted. Does anyone care?
For a darker tone.
Okay,
no.
I don't care.
What? It's a bug planet. It's so bad. I mean, I know the books were good and the comics were good.
Yeah, but the movie, I'm not a big fan of that first movie. The second movie is god awful.
There's like 4 of them.
Are there?
You know that?
Oh,
there's 4 of them. They're awful. They're just atrocious. The guy who played Casper Van, what's his name?
Casper Van Dien.
Van Dien. Yeah, he's like in 3 of them. They're just atrocious. It's horrible. Like they do this. There's this one where it's all like telepathic into the bugs' minds and stuff. It's horrendous.
Yeah, maybe you could reboot this thing and actually have a universe to play in. I don't know.
Get a little NPH going again. It'd be awesome.
You better do something drastic and have a real solid there's another one. Let Christopher Nolan in there. Now we might have something interesting because it's going to be deeper. You're going to have this weird world. Well, it is, but handled properly, it might not be.
Why can't they come up with something different that's already been done?
I'd prefer. Yeah. I'd prefer it too. You know what? Do the Foundation series from Isaac Asimov. You want something really cool? Do that.
Yeah. Well, I Robot the way it was written and not the way they did it.
Not the way they did it. Yeah, make that. Make Mouse and Pfeffer. Let's see that. That's a sweet book series. Do that kind of stuff. Let's stop going back to the well over and over for things that.
Well, but it's not sexy enough. Some of that isn't. That Foundation series.
Yeah,
I don't think is sexy enough for today's science fiction viewer because it's not going to have all the guns and flashy stuff.
What if Ryan Gosling was in it, Chris? Sexy enough for you?
Well, I'm talking about it's not going to be that all that technology and all that stuff. It's just going to because those are movies. Even though they're about robots, it's about people. It's about their coming of age and then becoming human.
But those are kind of hardcore science fiction stories, and that's what the original Starship Troopers, the book, I would say, kind of is. Even though it's got some fanciful elements to it, it is more of a deeper cut science fiction story. Sure. The movie itself was not. Well,
it's a war movie that's against bugs and it's about humanity. It's about it's about the overcoming impossible odds and the typical kind of Nazi intones and all that stuff. Because that movie is crazy.
Yeah.
The book is crazy about it too. So
let's see. Speaking of NPH, first trailer came out of him as Count Olaf from a Series of Unfortunate Events. I'm ready. When does that come out? Any idea?
A little you up, kids.
Yeah, well, I never watched the first one.
No, it was pretty good.
January 13th, 2017, 8 episodes. we are big fans of the movie and the books here in this house. The books are really, really great. So I think it's going to be great. Neil Patrick Harris looks amazing in this.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it, but he made something out of himself. So
yeah,
from Doogie, I mean, he was kind of
Doogie Howser to what he is now is.
Well, from I Married Your Mother. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff. He's been really good. I mean,
I was going to say, yeah, How I Met Your Mother was.
Well, he was great at that, but how about him great in Harold and Kumar, where he makes those,
yeah, he's
where he
hilarious.
makes those cameos as himself, making fun of himself.
Dude, the
like, oh my God.
Christmas one was ridiculous.
Ridiculous. But he's the best part. It's the
NPH.
best part of all of those. Yeah,
and I'm going and NPH shows up. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff.
And then what movie was he the creeper ex-boyfriend?
Oh, that was so good. That's the one.
Is that with Scarlett Johansson?
Is that the one? The not the missing girl, the Gone Girl. Was it Gone Girl?
Oh yeah, it was Gone Girl.
Oh, that was pretty hardcore.
That was a great movie, by the way, too.
Yeah, that's a
Affleck
great one.
is just he's so good.
And Alil, you sell his insurance, right? Affleck?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Affleck. You get to meet Gilbert Gottfried on a monthly basis.
Yes.
Sure. my podcast beat out his this week.
Nice.
Take that, Gilbert. Yeah, you guys rocked it. Let's talk about that this week in Geek. League of Geeks storming the castle at iTunes. What'd you guys get this week?
We were number 11 yesterday.
That's amazing.
How many views is that or downloads?
You know what? I didn't even check the number.
I don't think he wants to reveal that. He likes to keep the cards close to his vest.
It's more than one, less than 10 million, right?
It's
there you go.
14 more than we had.
No, that is really strong. It was weird too because it was on a Sunday. It was like 7 days after we released our show. We had another spike in downloads. Like
nice.
Every day we're doing more and more.
That's crazy,
more
man.
Subscribers, more and more.
That's
everything.
awesome, man.
It is.
I was happy we did 3K in Disturbed, a show that we don't do much with, but
yeah. So yeah,
I think we do a good job with it.
It's you guys deserve it. You made. See, I think this is the crowning achievement. You made This Week in Geek as news.
It is the greatest thing ever.
Ever.
We saw.
So in Justice League, did you see that? Is it Siren? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Young Justice.
No, Justice League, not Young Justice.
Okay, well,
in the Justice League, his name's I think it's Siren Hines. He's an actor. You've seen him. He's from like
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. He was Mance Raider. He's in tons of stuff. He was in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. He's just one of those guys. I think he's Welsh.
He's playing Steppenwolf.
I think that's gonna be awesome because he's a fantastic actor. So
it won't be that CG thing we saw in the outtakes of Batman v Superman. It'll be an actual person.
Nice. Good.
But what I was saying with Young Justice is that cartoon is coming back for season 3 after.
Yeah, that was the big news that dropped today, right?
Yep. Just like
2 hours ago, right? We're on the cutting edge of breaking news here.
Yeah,
so.
well,
breaking news.
You're a big fan of Young Justice. I've watched, I don't know, maybe 4 episodes. I don't love it. I like it.
Who's a big fan? I'm not a big fan.
I thought you were a big fan of that one.
No.
You're all
DC cartoon.
You're all DC.
What am I a fan of anything DC? No.
Yeah, no. I know it's really popular. I thought I was going to like it, and it's okay. I don't know. I mean, this isn't going to be a show about that. I'm not a huge fan of it. Didn't love it. But I'm glad that season 3 is coming because, my gosh, the fan base loves it.
Yeah, my other co-hosts love it, and they keep getting me to try to watch it. And, of course, instead of starting it from the beginning, I started it from the end.
There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look.
We have no chance. Hey, what's the worst episode? Let me watch that. I hate this. I hate this series.
This is trash.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care, but I'm glad for the fan because people love it.
Was that like watching Game of Thrones where Ned Stark gets his head cut off? It's like the main guy in the show. Oh, they kill him, 6 episodes in. It's okay, no problem. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Hey, really?
Uh-oh, spoiler, Alil.
Hey, Alil, it's 8 seasons in. We're 8 seasons in. You lose it, so.
Yeah.
No,
Darth Vader is Luke's father. I'm sorry.
I don't care about it. I mean, that's fine, but that's Sean Bean, right?
Yeah.
He dies that soon?
He does.
he's the main character in the first book, and they kill him like 2/3 of the way through.
Right.
Just kill him.
It's crazy.
It's not like they don't do that to everybody in this damn show. It's like,
well, yeah, but after that point, because of how big a character he was and how important, and it's Sean Bean, you're like, okay, this guy's going to be around for a while. Because of that, that all bets are off.
Yeah.
Anybody,
you might turn the page and your favorite character is dead.
Right. Anybody is fair game from that moment on.
And it happens a lot. So
yeah, don't get used to anybody.
If your name's Stark, especially, don't get fond of him.
I've only watched one episode, and
really,
yeah, the first episode.
Oh,
really? I've only watched the first season, but my gosh, it's fantastic.
That would be like literally saying I got through the scroll in Star Wars, the first one, episode 4.
I was going to say if you're talking episode 1, then you did yourself a service by leaving at that point.
Right. Well, come on, we've talked about that. Half of it's okay.
Half of it's okay. Half of it is poodoo.
Anything with Annie in it can blow, except for
Annie or that Greedo, the one that looks like a little kid version of Greedo.
Oh yeah,
and then the worst moment ever.
Yippee!
Yippee! Oh,
yippee! The worst.
Oh, the worst. That's so Wizard. Oh, it's just garbage.
Oh, speaking of Wizard, nice.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Fired.
Well, I mean, you think about it. I was just reading an article before we got on that. How they inflated the prices for these celebrities, how they've, because we talked about that the last time we recorded, didn't we? How much it cost these guys?
We went through and did that about the cons.
Well, he did. I mean, he might be the single proponent that blew these prices out of the water for everybody.
Right.
Think about that.
All he was doing was lining his pockets. Holy cow.
Whatever. I mean, I don't blame him for trying to get a couple of things signed for him by these people. I mean, like, maybe he put it all together, but at the cost of stuff to his company, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
That's not good. I mean, if he had somebody like sign, a couple of pages or something, big deal. That's part of the deal is you put this all together. Maybe you have Matt Smith sign a couple of pictures.
Yeah.
But with what they're charging and what they're doing, and then, to do it under the guise of Wizard World.
Right. Oh, the guy's a scumbag. But you know what? It's all come out now. I wonder if that changes anything, though, because we were noticing such changes with Wizard World on our end. I wonder if next year they're gonna be more open to letting podcasters in, or well, probably not. What do they care? But I wonder if they will be a different company once the bleeding has stopped a little bit, because they're back in that position where Wizard World just got a black eye. And a few years ago, they got a black eye, and that's when they all of a sudden got really cool to everybody. So I wonder if we're going to see that happen again.
Well, they've been through some changes. They lost a ton of money when they were trying to expand. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? I think there's gonna be some fallout from this. But they're the biggest contender. They're the ones who put on not the best show, but the biggest shows. They get all the stars. That's who everybody else wants to be, kind of like. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means for the con business.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it was a matter of time until something, not this specifically, but something like this happened. It just, there's too much money out there for people not to want their share.
Yeah.
Or, to do that. It's human nature. It's huge money. I mean, if we're talking those actors getting $200,000, $300,000 to show up for a weekend, that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know I don't know anybody that's worth that much money. So it's not. Yeah, you are for a year.
Number
maybe,
11,
not a weekend. You're number
11.
Number 11. That's right. But I'm just saying when you look at it, it's like that is ridiculous. And then I'm saying as a geek culture, almost gladly do it. And then we sit there and think about this guy now. Whatever, having access to those autographs that you pay $200 for, that's what they cost, or whatever they get, and him I hate to say skimming $1 million when you're looking at that much money. It's really not that much in the big picture, but it's a ton. And when I paid $100 to get somebody to sign something, if it could have been $10 left without this jerk doing it, then we would all been happier. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what the fallout is.
So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, man.
Because I know there's been disagreement with the artists and all that stuff. I mean, it's very much moved on from being like that small con where the artists matter. They don't. It's all about the celebrities and the sale of stuff.
I mean, when you go there and it's like half the celebrities now are wrestlers and they're like catering to that, or like that one time we went and they had like a second con going concurrently and it was all like YouTube stars.
Right.
And it wasn't even us.
Yeah. Speaking of, how come you didn't get us in that thing? What's going on with that?
We had Edward. He looked like one of those YouTubers.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Chicago Podcast Festival.
Oh, you know what? Chicago Podcast Festival. We just found out about it yesterday. Look at the podcasts that are on there. First of all, I've heard of 2 of them, and the 2 that I've heard of are NPR shows.
Right.
So,
well, they were talking. I heard an interview with them. That's when I texted you that stuff.
Okay.
And they were, but they're getting paid. So I was like,
Are
hey,
they?
that'd be nice to get paid. Yeah, they're getting paid. They're selling tickets to their shows, and so they're doing. What is it like? I think they're doing 2 nights at each venue or 3 nights at each venue, and they're doing like a 3 or 4 hour show, and the podcasters get a percentage of the ticket sales.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome, and I wish we could figure it out.
Yeah. Wish we would have known about it earlier. Been like, hey, I mean, come on, you tell me we couldn't do this show. You can do, Lil's probably going already. He just didn't tell us. That's all.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's
League of Geeks is there.
We're headliner.
They're like number 4 on iTunes now because they're so awesome.
They are. They're awesome. They're fantastic. But I'm saying, like, Geektastic Cage Match. Come on, are you kidding me?
Oh, we'd crush
that slays wherever we go. And they were talking about trying to perform it in front of 1,000 people. And I mean, what are those rooms like? We've done it in front of 5, haven't we? 300 or 400 in that one room.
Yes.
I mean, that's whatever.
Indy was more than that, about 5.
Yeah, Indy was about 500. I mean, after 10, to me, I hate to be like this. After 10, it doesn't really matter. It's just people out there. So it could be 10 or 10,000. It's okay. The first couple, the first 50 are the hard parts. Then after that, you're not too worried. But I mean, this whole Wizard World thing. I think that I know people know that the greed is out there, and I hope it doesn't bring some of this con stuff down. Where people don't want to pay because they're just gonna be like, well, somebody else is making all this money off of it.
Right.
I just hope that that's not because it's a ridiculous amount of money that these things generate. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And for a lot of them now, you start to feel as the fan going, like you are not considered. You know what I mean?
Well, the big ones you're not. I mean, I like there's obviously we go to these cons for different things. Like you go to, these smaller ones to meet the artists and do all that stuff. The people that are in the, they're in Artist Alley, but the big ones you go to see, maybe have contact with some of the bigger celebrities. You're not going to get Stan Lee at Icon in Lake County. You're not. So you can only get him at Wizard World and then not even anymore.
But you could get enough said.
Well, I know you could. I'm just saying, but but I'm just saying that stuff. I mean, you get some, you get a lot of the comic book writers because they're out there, especially the younger ones. I mean, you get those guys at all of these because there's a ton of them, but you don't get the big names. Like you could never get Norman Reedus at anywhere but a Wizard World or a Walker Stalker con.
Right.
So, I mean, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you're gonna have to pay for. So,
right.
Because there's big ones everywhere. So I don't know. I'm
ready to wrap it up for this week. Next week we'll be back on track with our regular show, and let's wrap it up. But I do want to say before we go, thanks for sticking with us. We are going to be back on a regular schedule, and from a behind the scenes point, we're actually working on adding some stuff. Going to get a lot more content on here. It's going to be a lot of fun. So spread the word, like us on iTunes, show us some encouragement there. We are going to have our own Patreon page shortly, and we're going to have our own YouTube channel shortly. So why don't we give some social? Of Lil. Yes, all is Harley Quinn. So let's give some social media. And Lil, let's start with you.
All right, you can find me at LOGEEKZ on Twitter, or just look up the League of Geeks podcast, and that's Geeks with a Z.
Number 11 on iTunes. And Chris.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I can be found at theblueboxcafe.com or at Blue Box Cafe or Blue Box Cafe 176 on social media.
And you can find the show on Twitter at SMG_twig, TWIG. You can find me at R Southgate and the company at SMG Pods. And we also have a Facebook page. Just look up This Week in Geek. It might be under This Week in Geek podcast. I'm not sure. Now I got to look. It's going to sound terrible if I send the people in the wrong place. We have, like I said, Pinterest. We have Patreon. We have Instagram. Literally just look up This Week in Geek or This Week in Geek podcast, and you'll find it all. And that's it. I think I'm done. You guys done?
Yeah,
I'm done.
All right.
Enough said.
Yeah, enough said. Until next time. We'll see you guys in a week.